Gibson Did The Thing. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. The classic white finish is finally here on Gibson's 80s collection. A little over 7 months ago, Gibson came out with the new 80s Explorer and Flying V. We had documented them in these two episodes here, and the general consensus was, it's kind of 80s in style. Although as far as all the nitty-gritty details, nah, not exactly. But they only came in the ebony finishes, and a lot of people were upset, saying, hey, where's the white? Where's the white? We were all hoping it'd be the James Hetfield signature, and I had heard a lot of rumors that they were going to end up being exclusives to Guitar Center, but now part of Gibson.com's exclusive colors, we've got classic white. It's funny how going from one solid color to another makes people so excited and happy, because nothing else spec-wise has changed here, but it looks so much better, doesn't it? No longer gonna have a bunch of polishing, scratches, and swirls from your ebony. It's just a nice classic aged white, and it looks great. So if anybody wants to new Guitar Day one of these, feel free to hit me up. We'll redocument this color. I would say even the 80s V looks incredibly good, like you could just paint your own stripe to make it look like the designer series. And for good measure, the back of the Flying V, but how much are these things? Exact same price, $24.99. For the specs you're getting is a lot. You're paying for the nostalgia and having a kind of a newer guitar, but I still think they're gonna sell through a pretty decent amount of these. Although I'm really shocked they're not going to send these out to other dealers and they're keeping it for themselves. Currently, they're not in stock, and I haven't seen anybody post one of these in the flesh, so it's possible they haven't even made the first batch yet, but I'm not entirely too sure. But they appear to be on their way. But speaking of creamy news, Gibson is filing to cancel DiMarzio's PAF and double cream pickup trademarks. Ooh, this is big. So people have been saying for a long time that DiMarzio shouldn't even have these trademarks, because Gibson clearly had the patent applied for decals on the backside of their pickups since at least the 50s. And if you remove the cover off of original PAFs, you can find the double cream look that arguably could be said what made it popular for DiMarzio to want to make their own version of, and then ultimately probably make it more successful. But they had gotten that around 1981. Usually people are pretty quick to bash Gibson doing all this legal stuff, but I think this is one time when a lot of people within the industry might actually side with Gibson. Guitar.com had a great article here. Talks about Gibson was kind of first. They're basically just trying to say it's generic. It's a color that's used on a whole bunch of guitars. Very common. And I would fully agree with that. Although I don't exactly know about that. I don't think I'm being deceived. I just think PAF humbucker. And I think this might be pushing it a bit, but who knows? We'll let the courts decide. Apparently they have until January 13th to respond, and then we'll see where they go from there. Now, is Gibson trying to keep it all for themselves? No. Looks like they're trying to make it look generic, but who knows what this will do. Will we one day see collectible, double classic white Gibson PAFs before trademark cancellation and they can be called double creams? And I've heard rumors that Gibson is trying to do this for a very specific project that they have in mind. So I'll be curious to read your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comments, but let's try to keep it civil. Because now we've got another big news. The Adam Jones Les Paul Standard, the Gibson USA regular production, has been discontinued. I was shocked when I first saw that on a Facebook group. I don't think these were ever actually advertised as limited edition. It was just as long as they'll sell. They have been selling like crazy. However, the past 3 or 4 months, things have been slowing down. You no longer saw premiums on the used market. You actually seen things significantly fall. These were about 3,000 brand new, but you could find one in the demo shop occasionally if you're lucky for about $2,000. So that kind of hurt the market on these. So it seems that these really cool ebony fretboarded standards are getting the plug pulled on them, maybe to help preserve the legacy of it. I can definitely see these things going up in value in the future now that they're out of production. Or who knows, maybe they'll come back and spec them differently. Maybe they'll sell these out and then come out with a maple necked version. Or give us one that has the burst on the back and sides and the neck. Or are they really making room for a Gibson USA Adam Jones V? I doubt it. As a collector, I kind of miss things being limited edition and Gibson USA having small batch runs of like 400 guitars that just kind of become weird, obscure facts in Gibson's lore, like the Sunken Treasure Les Paul, or the Sammy Hagar model, or any of the other signature Les Pauls. Usually they were limited edition to a certain number, whereas this was, we're gonna make as many as will sell. Speaking of Discontinued, I love it. They've updated their website. So how the site used to look when you'd go here is you'd see all the models. Some would be like, oh, I didn't know they did a Mike Ness. I got to get myself one of these. notify me when available. So you'd sign up to be notified and then you would never be notified. Same thing with like the Adam Jones VOS. It now specifically says discontinued. It doesn't even show the price anymore on this screen. Thankfully, it's still on this one for historical preservations. But some of like the Joe Perry Gold Rush, that hasn't been in production. That was like, what, 2018 guitar? I feel like that should just be taken off the site by this time. But at least now they're labeled discontinued, so people aren't waiting for something that's literally never going to happen. There we go, Sergio Vallín, gone. Chuck Berry, history. And now we need to talk about a new release. So I was really looking forward to the big Gibson event for 2023 because 2022, we had greenies up to wazoo, but some people got to go down, have a great time for a $50,000 package. I was ready for the hype and excitement again for that. Unfortunately, we did not see anything this year, which was really shocking to me. But they did drop Brazilian Rosewood R9s. They offered 6 different colors and 50 guitars in each of the hues. That is insane. I was hearing rumors that Gibson was starting to run out of their Brazilian, but that must not be the case at all. They're just strategically limiting it. So besides the exotic rosewood, they also paired it with super lightweight mahogany bodies and gave them the nicest tops that they could, which is what they say for all special guitars. But these 6 colors were developed by Tom Murphy, which is the other kind of it factor for him. So you got Tom's Cherry, Tom's Tea, Tom's Tri-Burst, Tom's Lemon Burst, and Tom's Dark Burst. I like Tom's Tea. Sounds like we're gonna sit down with him and he's gonna spill the news of the century. These appear to be aged, but Tri-Burst was pretty interesting because they threw a Bigsby on it just for good measure. And of course, Lemon Bursts are always looking good. But how much are these? They're 20 grand. So let's put things into perspective. You can get the non-collector's edition greenie for 20. It doesn't have the Brazilian Rosewood fretboard, but it's got a name associated with it. I mean, A and B comparison, it seems to be a no-brainer to go for one of these. However, at the same time, $20,000 for one of these is big. You can find some other early 2000s alternatives in the like what, 7 to 12,000-ish range, but what is good news, if you happen to own one of those other ones, it definitely seems to make it potentially more valuable, but sadly a lot of these are kind of sitting at shops, which might have been seen as a shock to Gibson. It seems most of the people that bought on speculation have started to cool off on hoarding all the new limited edition guitars, which is good because now you don't have to worry about getting sold out every release. And dealers will be a little bit more flexible on price. But $250 was a lot. I mean, look at all of them that are on here. I have seen some private offers be sent out for around $18,000. So if you're in the market for one of these and you want to do a new guitar day, feel free to hit me up. I can see what shops might give us the best deal. But there's some really nice tops as you go through here. It seems people really prefer these lemon ones because there's like only one there. I guess it makes sense because, I mean, this and greenie, as we were just talking about, this is the closest finish for that. So you might as well go for one of these at this point in time. But these came out about a month ago. The launch examples that were my favorite was this Lemon Burst. It's got a little bit more rusticness to it. I thought that was a particularly nice top. Here was one by Eddie's Guitars that looked pretty good. I like the wood grain on the back of this one too. Cool gold medallions. Then Tom's Cherry. This one had a really wide flame top. Most of these are pretty good. This is one time where I think I believe the marketing hype that they hand selected these tops specifically for this project. But from the ones available, here's also what I cherry picked. This one by Dave's Guitars. Good old House of Guitars. You can tell this one's just gonna move like crazy in person. They've aged our knobs and everything. And I like the attention to detail on the pick guard. Here's a pretty flamey one. And one maybe just a little bit more tightly done. This looks like a real burst, like one of the really nice ones. But to round things out tonight, Gibson Custom Shop has listed some new exclusives on the website. So our first one is the SG Custom Figure 2 pickup. They really went all out here because we don't normally see the widowed effects put on an SG. So obviously we put a flame maple top on here, gave it a nice dark blue burst finish, kept it with the gold hardware, so that's very non-traditional. But then we got the ebony fretboard with the abalone block inlays. And oh, wow. I don't think we've ever seen this before. Abalone underneath the painted over headstock cap. That's fascinating because usually that's mother of pearl, so now we get all the other colorations within it. I would love to see that in person. Then the back, nothing too special. I feel like they should have just made it a complete maple body at this point. Gave it the 5-piece flame maple neck. That one's quite pricey at $7,500. We've been seeing a few custom color Carina Flying Vs. This one is a frost blue VOS. done up on the front and back, and they're also offering a Carry Green VOS. For me personally, when I think Carina Flying V, I don't want a solid color on it, and you're gonna pay about $1,100 premium for that. Then we have a 57 reissue Ebony. It looks like it's about a $500 premium. For once again, instead of being a gold top with the natural back, it's just black, including all the way on the back. And then they're also offering it aged for about an $1,800 premium. But this one's kind of cool. Olive drab heavy aged. That looks really enticing. Especially if they're still going to give you the flame top underneath it and expose it. Yeah, that finish looks really good with some relicking. And that's the thing, it's a relatively new color, so you don't see that on too many guitars. Those are priced at $88. Well, this one looks like a Joe Bonamassa reissue, but it's nearly 10 grand for all the aging they put on it. Looks relatively standard on the front, besides our black plastics. But with a high price tag like that, at least you have something kinda special on the back with a golden stinger, reminiscent of an all gold Les Paul that somebody just kinda like shaved down the neck and just left that as a remnant. Then there was also an Oxblood 63 SG special, as well as a 59 reissue 335. Oxblood is one of those finishes you kinda have to appreciate more so in person because it's really a dark red. But I really like what they did here, Crimson Burst. Definitely doesn't remind me of 1959. One of the most popular colors on a 335 is the cherry, so now let's add the burst element to it. Vaguely reminds me of the dark wine burst from the early 90s. Subtle, but there, however they left the neck alone. That is going to be it for our Gibson News Topics episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day, and you might even enjoy this next one.